Welcome to Jaztime. Jaztime is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click the link in the description below to buy it at jaztime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Self-Winding 34mm White Ceramic, reference 77350CB.OO.1266CB.01. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of the Royal Oak, and then I'll tell you about where this particular one stands in the lineup of similar Royal Oak 34s. Then I will talk to you about the bezel, dial, bracelet, case, movement, all that jazz, and then finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start off with that history. This is the Royal Oak. It is Audemars Piguet's most famous line, and arguably it's one of their most famous watches, or most easily recognizable watches in the world. This is the first time that a luxury sports watch was introduced to the world. That was back in 1972 by Jaztime, the designer of the famous Royal Oak. And since then, many different brands have gone on to, I don't want to say copy, but take inspiration from the Royal Oak, such as, for example, the Patek Philippe Nautilus has taken this inspiration heavily. In fact, so much so that Patek Philippe wanted to create a competitor to the Royal Oak, so they actually hired the same creator, Jaztime, to create Patek Philippe's version of the Royal Oak, the Nautilus. Since then, many brands have gone off to create their own luxury sports watch, and some of them look very similar to the AP Royal Oak, such as the Audemars Piguet Loretto, or the Vacheron Constantin Overseas, and so many others. And rightfully so. It is a beautiful design, and it is a timeless design. And really, there you have it. That is the birth of the Royal Oak. But now, where does this particular watch stand in the lineup of similar Royal Oaks? Well, this Royal Oak comes in size 33, which is for quartz, which means it's battery driven. But for ladies, for the longest time, they either made it quartz, which was battery driven, or 37, which was quite large for women. It's definitely on the larger side, and then they had, of course, the men's sizes, but let's not talk about those since we're talking about specifically ladies' watches here. So basically, they had the sizes 33 and 37, not just kind of too small or too big. The size 33 was too small, but the thing is, it had a quartz movement, so you're paying this $20,000, $30,000 if you want an automatic movement. Not something that you'd have to change a Duracell battery with, right? It just didn't make sense. And naturally, those never did sell that well except for the price point. But at some point, AP figured out, okay, you know what? We need to make an automatic ladies' watch in this small size, or at least a petite size, that most women can wear. And so they came up with a 34. And that was not that long ago, and when it came out, it did really well. The 34 is really the best size. It is their medium size. It's just big enough on the wrist to not look like you're trying too hard. And really, to be honest, we sell more 34s specifically for ladies. And they do the best, and they just simply look the best. And anyways, that's 34mm, and yeah, that's a little bit about the history and where this watch stands in the lineup. But specifically where it lands, the 34, when they first came out, they only had a couple variations back in 2019, 2020, whenever that was. They just had steel with a blue dial, they had a regular stainless steel with a silver dial, they had, I think, two-tone, and maybe they got a rose gold, but that was it, not a whole lot. But as the years have gone on, yeah, they have really dived into the 34s and have done incredible variations. They've done all black ceramic, they've done all white ceramic, which is what you're looking at right here. They've done a frosted blue dial. And now, one of the most recent ones, they did a frosted with a mirror dial, or like a frosted with a frosted dial, I guess you could say. It was yellow gold with a frosted dial. It was beautiful. Then they did a pink gold with rose dial, and so on and so forth. They have so many different variations of it. With diamonds and gems and etc., you get it. It's great because this is just a fantastic watch at a fantastic size, and so they had to dig in and make a lot of variations with it, and so I'm very glad they did. And that is where this watch stands in that lineup, so let's actually talk about the watch itself. Let's start with that case. As I said, the case is made out of ceramic, and you might think, well, why would you want a case made of ceramic? Well, there are actually a couple reasons. Number one, it does not scratch easily, and two, that color does not fade. It's going to look pretty much like this for the rest of the life of the watch. Now, you could obviously break it, and I mean, if you drop it on the ground or smashed it with a hammer, it would break, obviously. But most of us are not going to do that with our $50,000 watch, right? So for all intents and purposes, as long as it stays on your wrist and you don't throw it on a rock and break it, it's going to be fine and look exactly like this the day it came out of the box, just this beautiful watch. Now, they don't make a lot of ceramic watches, although when it comes to ceramic, AP is really a pro. They knock it out of the park. They're one of the few brands that tend to do it. Patek Philippe doesn't do ceramic. Rolex doesn't do ceramic. Only Richard Mille, Audemars Piguet, and Hublot really, that I can think of off the top of my head. I guess Omega sometimes, but they're not really that good at it. IWC, but they're not really in that same class. When we are talking high-end class, we are talking AP and RM, Audemars Piguet and Richard Mille. These are the guys that know how to do ceramic. Now, when it comes to size 34 for ladies, you can choose black or white. And let me tell you, the black one is really nice, but it is nowhere near the white. The market believes that as well because the white one trades well above retail and the black one trades just at retail. There you have it. The market has spoken. And by the way, if you would like to buy this watch, click the link in the description below because we can sell this watch. There is a long waiting list for this watch. And it's going to take quite a spend history in order for you to even look at this watch. But if you go to Jaztime.com or click the link in the description below and buy it immediately, you can have it literally tomorrow and pay for it right away, and you'll have it. Anyways, going back to the case, that is 34 millimeters, and that is my thumb to my index finger. It's the perfect lady size, and it's made out of white ceramic. Now, if you turn it on its side, you can see the profile. It is very, very thin at 8.8 millimeters, and I'll get to why that is when I talk about the movement, but trust me, 8 millimeters, or just under 9, is very thin, but it is a lady's watch, so it is kind of understandable. All right, now let's move on to the bezel. Now, the bezel, of course, is this beautiful octagonal shape, which is iconic looking. What else is interesting about this bezel is they chose these rose gold accents. Why would they choose rose gold? You know, I'm not really sure, but I love it. Rose gold against the white just really brings it out, and it makes it pop. It makes it look luxurious, and I really do think they made the right choice. Not too over the top. I think it really would have been underwhelming if they did do it in a white gold or just a yellow gold, something like that. It would make it look too pale, but they added that little bit of pop of color with that rose gold, or they call it pink gold. Okay, most people just call it rose gold, right? And it really gives it that life that they would want in it. So these little screws, these hexagonal screws, they're all done in rose gold, and they match, by the way. Let's move on to the next thing, which is that dial. Now, it has that grand tapisserie dial, which is just these little waffles that you see here on the dial, which is very normal for the Royal Oaks. Almost every single Royal Oak will have them. Not all, but almost all of them. And then they made the hour markers and hands all in rose gold, and on top of that, they put luminescence on the hands and the hour markers to make it readable at night. Very thoughtful, because not a lot of people do that. They really actually planned this one out, and I really think they hit it on the head. The dial itself, they call it a silver tone. To me, it looks white, but they call it a silver tone dial, and it matches the rest of the watch. Now, check this out. Let's move down to the bracelet. The bracelet is pretty interesting too, and I want to compare it to the black ceramic. The bracelet, of course, is going to be in white ceramic, but what they managed to do is put it on the buckle. The buckle itself is black. You don't really see that very often. I don't know any other Royal Oak that does that, by the way. They have this folding clasp that's part of the blackened polished steel, and so it's steel, but it's like it's PVD or some kind of... They did some kind of coating to give it this black look. And if you compare it to that black ceramic, on that watch, they use a titanium buckle or a steel buckle, but it's not painted. It doesn't really look that good. It looks kind of like an afterthought. The white ceramic, though, came out several years after. I think like 2023 it came out, but the black one's been out since 21, give or take. And so the white one, they made improvements on, and they made the buckle in black, and it looks so much better, I think. Again, it just makes it pop. Okay, now let's turn the watch over and look at the movements. Now, I was going to tell you why this watch was so thin, but before I get to that, check this out. They made the Caseback also in rose gold, and I think it was just a great idea. It really makes the watch look cohesive. When you look at it, for example, from the front, you have these rose gold accents, and then you look at it from the back, which is, of course, again, the back is rose gold. And then you start to get the idea, whoever designed this, they were going to get an A+ for the design. They did a great job. Also, if I actually just now noticed this, if you look at the crown, it is also made in that rose gold. Now, if you go back to that black ceramic, by the way, its counterpart, its sister, cousin, whatever you want to call it, the very similar one, the case is black in either titanium or steel. I can't tell. Also, the buckle is titanium or steel. I don't really know, but it looks very good. The Caseback is also actually in titanium or steel. I can't tell. Also, that buckle is in titanium or steel, and I don't think it looks that good. They should have done something with it, like they did with this. On this one, they knocked it out of the park. And now I was talking about the movement. Let's go back to the movement. Now, I know people were longing for a small-sized AP for ladies when they had an automatic movement, and AP delivered 100% on it. And let's talk about it. This is a caliber 5800. It is an AP-specific movement. As you can see here, it is a beautiful gold rotor. It's automatic. I was going to tell you why it's so thin. It has 186 parts. Now, to give you some reference, the old movement had something like 280 parts. They slimmed it down by 100 parts. That's 30% of its mass. So they've slimmed it down, and that's probably the reason why it's thinner, because they have the older 37mm, which was obviously much thicker. This is only 8mm. The old ones were 9. Now, you might be thinking 8, 9, that really isn't that much, but when it comes to movements, these tiny, tiny little parts, it is a lot. They were able to slim it down by decreasing the number of parts. Decreasing the parts also makes the power reserve and efficiency of the watch better. So it has a 50-hour power reserve and 28 joules, and it's self-winding. No need for any battery. And it also is a beauty to look at. Okay, that's it, I swear. Now, let's go ahead and try this on and give you my thoughts. Now, of course, I am a man. Whoever buys this watch should be a woman or a man for a woman. Of course, for the Royal Oaks, I love the 34 the best. I think it is the absolutely best size for women to wear. It's the number one, and let's start with that. And then the number two, you just have to decide which material and which configuration. That's kind of the kicker, though. That's the tough one, because there are so many. There could be a case made for almost every single one of them, but I will make a case for the one in white. I think the white ceramic is definitely better, in my opinion, than the black one. That one is true. It gives it that pop. It's more summerish, summer-y, the summer watch. I just, with the rose gold accents, it's a bright watch. It doesn't scratch. It's super durable. It's also not that easily recognizable, by the way, so you could wear it out and you don't want people to stare at your wrists. It's probably good to kind of conceal it a little bit. Whereas if you wear a, solid yellow gold AP or something with diamonds, it draws a lot of attention. This could just be a fashionable watch, like some people might not recognize it at first until they actually stare at it and get up close. For that reason, I'm definitely going to give this watch 2 thumbs up, and if you want to buy it, all you need to do is click the link in the description below and get it at Jaztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jaztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in Jaztime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.